wild update. Instead of harvesting your crops like this, try a redstone lamp. Because with the way that the mechanics work for the game, these crops can only exist when there's a certain amount of light source nearby. Which in turn means that if we were to flick the switch off, break one of the crops, the rest will then update so that they're broken too in the new light level. And then you can turn back on the lights and pick up all the new crops that you just harvested. Which is probably the simplest amount of redstone that you need to make an automatic crop farm. Ever since the 1.16 update, we've now had support for adding different emojis in the Java edition of Minecraft related items, like pickaxes, swords, and tridents, and even potions, both splash and regular, which seems like a pretty minor feature to add, but it could make for some extra cool signage, especially if you're trying to sell these different items in a shop. With your Riptide Trident, we can go up to 200 blocks into the sky, and the way we do this is that if we wait for a rainstorm and then continuously bounce off a slime block bounce pad, each time that we bounce back down, we'll launch higher than the last, which in turn gets us more momentum, and we can continue to do this until we reach so high in the sky that the rain becomes snow, meaning we're so high up in the atmosphere that it starts to get cold up there. And while it's all fun and games, just make sure that you actually land on the slime block when you're ready to come down. We don't need to go from your highest high down to your lowest low. Instead of placing all these flowers by hand, we're gonna do it with a bow. Strange as it may seem, using the place feature command, we're able to swap out an entity for a decoration. So if we set up the execute command like this in a command block, that'll be able to turn our spray of arrows into a beautiful flower garden. And if you want to make this whole process even faster, I'd recommend using a multi-shot crossbow so you get even more of a spray at the end. Just make sure not to shoot anybody while they're enjoying the roses. How did we make these minecarts fly? Well, the reason's bees. Because if you summon in a minecart riding as a passenger on top of a bee, it'll actually still let the minecarts fly around and they'll still be functional. And then if we take after this user and make the bees invisible, we have quite the minigame to climb up to the top of the base. Just make sure you don't hit the sneak key, otherwise you'll be in a spot way worse than last place. The warden's a tough mob to kill, and because of that, it can't drown or burn alive. So if you were to put it on top of a pad of magma blocks, it would never die. But if you put those same magma blocks underwater, it also can never escape. Because its movement speed is too slow to escape the current, it'll just spin around in a circle on those bubbles, which is hilarious to watch, but still don't get too close to it. Otherwise, it could still use its sonic boom attack and make it a lot less funny to watch. In the April Fool's one block at a time snapshot, it's possible to mount the Ender Dragon and ride it around as your own. Sure enough, if you get close enough where you can do this, you'll be able to hop on and steer it as you want, letting you use this for both a tunnel bore and some form of fast travel. And plus, it lets you move the Ender Dragon around in the overworld, which is more